Have you ever found yourself wide awake in the middle of the night, and it's only 3 a.m.? You check the clock, maybe sigh, shift in bed a few times, pull the blanket up tighter, but no matter what you do, you just can't fall back asleep. Your mind starts to wander. You wonder if something's wrong. You tell yourself maybe it's just stress or maybe it's just part of getting older. But still, you lie there, night after night at the same time, watching the hours tick by until the sun rises. If that sounds like you, or someone you love, you're not alone. In fact, waking up during the early morning hours, especially around 3 a.m., is surprisingly common for people in their 60s, 70s, and beyond. And while it might seem like just another part of aging, the truth is, there's often more to it than that. Your body is sending you a message, and tonight we're going to uncover what that message might be. See, sleep changes as we age. And those changes aren't just about getting fewer hours. They're about how deeply we sleep, when we sleep, and why we wake up. Understanding what's really happening inside your body and mind during those early morning wake-ups can be the first step to sleeping better, feeling more rested, and even protecting your long-term health. And the best part? You don't need sleeping pills. You don't need expensive gadgets. What you do need is awareness, and a few gentle changes that can make a world of difference. Let's talk about what might really be waking you up at 3 a.m. and what you can do about it. To start, let's look at something simple but powerful, your internal body clock. You've probably heard the term circadian rhythm before. It's that natural cycle that tells your body when to feel awake and when to feel sleepy. But what many people don't realize is that your circadian rhythm doesn't stay the same as you get older. In fact, it starts to shift earlier. That's why many older adults begin feeling sleepy earlier in the evening and wake up earlier in the morning, even if they don't want to. This natural shift can make 3 a.m. feel like your body's version of 6 a.m. from a few decades ago. But here's the problem. While your body clock may be shifting, your life may not be. You might still be going to bed at 10 or 11 at night, trying to get the right amount of sleep, but your body has already decided it's time to rise at 3. Now, that doesn't mean you have to settle for broken sleep. But it does mean you may need to adjust your evening routine to better match your body's rhythm. Something as simple as dimming the lights an hour earlier, shutting off screens a bit sooner, or creating a wind-down routine, reading, soft music, or gentle stretching, can help your body recognize that it's time for deeper rest, not just light dozing. But your body clock isn't the only thing calling the shots at 3 a.m. There's something else going on too, something a little deeper. That time of night, believe it or not, is when your stress hormone, cortisol, begins to rise. This is normal, it happens to everyone, and it's part of your body's way of slowly preparing to wake up. But for many older adults, cortisol levels can rise too quickly or too early, especially if the body is under some kind of hidden pressure, whether that's anxiety, blood sugar imbalances, or even chronic inflammation. Think about it. Have you ever woken up with your heart racing, thoughts swirling, or a strange sense of unease you couldn't explain? That's often cortisol at work. And while it might sound scary, it's actually your body trying to protect you. It's just gotten a little too sensitive over time. That's why taking steps to calm your nervous system before bed can be so important. One simple change? Watch what you're eating in the evening. Having a small snack that includes both protein and a bit of healthy carbohydrate, like a piece of turkey with a few apple slices, can help stabilize your blood sugar overnight. That way, your body isn't suddenly jolted awake at 3 a.m. thinking it needs energy. It already has what it needs. And here's something else to think about, your evening thoughts. What you feed your mind before bed matters just as much as what you feed your body. If you find yourself watching the news late at night, scrolling through social media, or revisiting worries from the day before you try to fall asleep, your brain doesn't just shut off when the lights go out. It carries those thoughts into the night, and sometimes, it wakes you up to keep thinking about them. Try this instead. Before bed, take 5 minutes to write down anything that's on your mind. It doesn't have to be fancy, just a simple note to yourself, like, call the doctor, or, worried about my grandson's school. Writing it down tells your brain it doesn't need to hold on to that thought all night. You've captured it. You'll come back to it tomorrow. And for now, your job is to rest. These early morning wake-ups may feel frustrating, but they're also full of insight. Your body is trying to tell you something. Maybe it's asking for a gentler evening routine. Maybe it needs a little more nourishment, or a little less stimulation. Maybe it's not broken at all, just shifting, adapting, doing its best to keep you safe. And that's the beauty of aging. It's not about decline, it's about becoming more tuned in, more aware of what truly matters. You've earned the right to listen to your body with care and kindness, not frustration. You've earned the right to sleep deeply, to wake up refreshed, and to know that even the smallest adjustments can lead to better nights and brighter mornings. Now that we've looked at how your internal clock and stress levels might be playing a role in your early wake-ups, let's explore another important factor, your bladder. Yes, I know, it's not the most glamorous topic, but let's be honest. Waking up at 3 a.m. often means one thing: you need to go to the bathroom. And if it's not once, it might be 2 or 3 times a night. Over time, this can seriously disrupt your sleep cycle, leaving you feeling groggy, irritated, or just plain tired the next day. But here's something you might not know. Frequent nighttime urination, or what doctors call nocturia, isn't always just a normal part of aging. Sometimes it can be a sign that your body is out of balance. It could be related to medications, diet, or even your fluid intake habits. For instance, if you're drinking a lot of liquids in the late evening, tea, water, even a glass of wine, you're setting yourself up for that 3 a.m. wake-up call. It's not about cutting off fluids altogether, though. Hydration is still incredibly important, especially as we age. But the timing matters. Try shifting most of your fluid intake earlier in the day. Start hydrating as soon as you wake up, and taper off slowly after dinner. That way, your body gets what it needs during the day, and your bladder isn't working overtime at night. And let's talk about caffeine for a moment. You might think a cup of coffee with lunch or a little dark chocolate after dinner isn't a big deal, but caffeine can linger in your system for hours, up to 10 in some people. Even if you fall asleep just fine, that little bit of caffeine can still mess with your sleep quality and increase those middle-of-the-night awakenings. If you suspect caffeine's affecting you more than it used to, try switching to herbal teas or decaf options after 2 p.m. and see how your body responds. And yes, there's one more thing we need to talk about when it comes to nighttime trips to the bathroom: your pelvic floor. It's a group of muscles that helps control your bladder, and just like any other muscle, it can weaken over time. But here's the good news: it's never too late to strengthen it. Gentle exercises like pelvic floor contractions, also called Kegels, can make a huge difference in how often you feel the urge to go. And you can do them sitting, standing, even lying down. No fancy equipment needed. Now let's shift gears a bit. Because not all 3 a.m. wake-ups are about physical needs. Sometimes they're emotional. Have you ever noticed that your thoughts feel heavier in the middle of the night? That a small worry from earlier suddenly feels overwhelming? That something you brushed off during the day suddenly keeps you wide awake in the darkness? That's no accident. The brain processes emotions differently at night. Without the distractions of the day, our minds tend to magnify the things we haven't dealt with yet. And if you're carrying unresolved grief, loneliness, or anxiety, which, let's face it, many older adults are, it can creep in during the quietest hours. This isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign that your mind is asking for a little attention, a little compassion. You might be thinking, but I don't want to sit around feeling emotional at 3 in the morning. And of course you don't. No one does. But here's a gentle tip that can make a world of difference. Instead of trying to fight the emotions, try acknowledging them. Not in a dramatic way, just quietly, kindly. You might say to yourself, I'm feeling uneasy right now, and that's okay. Sometimes just giving your feelings a name can calm the mind enough to let you drift back to sleep. And during the day, consider creating space for these emotions in a more intentional way. Maybe it's journaling in the morning. Maybe it's having a real conversation with someone who gets it. Or maybe it's something as simple as sitting outside in the sunlight for 10 minutes, letting your thoughts settle. The more care you give your mind during the day, the more peaceful your nights can become. All of this ties into one powerful idea. Sleep isn't just about your body. It's also about your spirit. And as you get older, your spirit craves stillness, connection, safety. If your days are filled with noise, whether that's external noise or internal worry, It's no surprise that your nights feel restless. Sleep is your body's way of recharging, yes, but it's also your soul's way of healing. And healing doesn't happen in chaos. It happens in quiet, consistent care. You might be surprised at how just a few intentional changes can begin to shift your nights. You don't need to overhaul your entire life. You don't need to become a sleep expert. You simply need to become a little more curious about your body and what it's trying to tell you. Start by noticing what your evenings feel like. Are you winding down with peace or with worry? Are you moving through your nighttime routine with care, or just crashing at the end of the day? Notice how you feel after certain foods, after certain conversations, after watching certain kinds of TV. Everything leaves an imprint on your sleep, even if it's hours later. And please, be patient with yourself. Your sleep story is not a problem to fix. It's a pattern to understand. It's a message, not a mistake. And just like every other part of your life, it deserves your attention, your compassion, and your hope. You're not broken. You're not too old to sleep. You're simply in a new season, one that invites you to listen a little more closely to your body and give it what it truly needs. Now that we've talked about how things like your bladder, your emotions, and your environment may be affecting your sleep, there's still one more powerful piece of the puzzle we need to explore, and it might surprise you. It's not a food or a medication or even a bedtime ritual. It's something much more subtle and far more influential than most people realize. I'm talking about your sense of purpose. Now, at first, that might not sound like it has anything to do with waking up at 3 a.m. But stay with me for a moment. When you don't feel connected to something meaningful, when your days start to feel empty or unstructured, it's incredibly common for your sleep to suffer. The mind needs direction. The heart needs connection. And without those things, even if your body is tired, your spirit stays restless. This shows up in many ways. Maybe you wake up feeling unmotivated or unsure of what to do next. Maybe you miss the routine of work or the comfort of caring for others. Maybe the days blend together and start to feel hollow. That emptiness can creep into your nights. Your brain doesn't shut down. It spins, searching for something to hold on to. And that's when you find yourself staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m., wondering why you're wide awake again. But here's the beautiful truth. It's never too late to rediscover purpose. You don't need a big mission or a packed schedule. Purpose can be quiet. It can be as simple as nurturing a garden, calling a friend each morning, writing down your memories to pass on, or helping a neighbor. It can be found in creativity, kindness, learning, or simply being present with the people you love. And when your days feel more meaningful, your nights often follow. A fulfilled mind sleeps more peacefully. A heart that feels connected doesn't wander in the dark quite so often. You start to fall asleep not out of exhaustion, but with a sense of calm, knowing that your life still matters, that you still matter, just as much as ever. Let's also talk briefly about movement. Not just exercise, but daily movement. Gentle, intentional motion that keeps your body engaged without overstimulating it. As we age, it's easy to slip into patterns of sitting more and moving less, especially if aches and pains are involved. But a lack of movement can lead to poor circulation, stiff joints, and even disrupted sleep. Your body was designed to move, even in small ways. A short walk after dinner, some light stretching in the morning, or even dancing to your favorite music for 5 minutes a day. It all counts. Movement helps regulate your body's temperature, it eases tension, and it helps your brain release chemicals that support better sleep. Plus, the more active you are during the day, the more naturally tired you'll feel at night, in a good, satisfying way. And don't forget about sunlight. Getting outside during the day, even for just 15 minutes, can help reset your internal clock, so your body knows when it's time to sleep. Light is one of the strongest signals your brain receives when it comes to managing sleep and wake cycles. If you can, try to get outside early in the day. Feel the warmth on your skin, breathe in the fresh air, and let your body remember, this is daytime. This is when I'm meant to be awake. And when night comes, it's time to rest. Now, I want to say something that might go against what you've heard before. You don't have to aim for a perfect 8 hours of uninterrupted sleep. That might have worked when you were 25, but sleep in later years often comes in lighter stages, and that's okay. What matters most is the quality of your rest, not just the number on the clock. If you wake up once or twice and fall back asleep easily, that's still good sleep. If you lie in bed and feel relaxed, even if you're not fully asleep, your body is still restoring itself. But if you're lying there wide awake, night after night, it's time to take a closer look, not with fear, but with curiosity. What's your body trying to tell you? Are you comfortable? Are you too warm? Is your pillow right for your neck? Are your thoughts racing? These little clues are part of the bigger picture. It's like tuning in old radio. Sometimes you just need to adjust the dial a little to find that sweet, clear signal. Maybe it's your evening snack. Maybe it's your bedtime routine. Maybe it's something as simple as soft music, a lavender scent, or a weighted blanket. Small things can have a big impact, especially when done with care and consistency. And if you're feeling frustrated, please remember, your sleep doesn't have to be perfect to be healing. Some nights will be better than others. That's part of the rhythm of life. The important thing is to keep listening, keep adjusting, and most of all, keep believing that you can sleep well again. You've lived through so many seasons. You've adjusted to countless changes. This is just another chapter. One where rest can become a ritual. Where sleep can feel safe and welcoming again. Where you wake up not just because your body tells you to, but because you're ready to greet the day with strength, clarity, and purpose. Let tonight be the start of something different. Something softer. Something more in tune with the incredible wisdom your body already holds. You don't need to force it. You just need to honor it. Give yourself permission to rest, not because you've earned it, but because you deserve it. And if you found anything in this video that resonated with you, I'd love to hear about it. Share your thoughts or experiences in the comments below. Maybe you found a routine that works. Maybe you're still figuring it out. Either way, your story matters, and someone else might find comfort in knowing they're not alone. And if this video helped you, please give it a like. It helps more people find it. And don't forget to subscribe for more tips on sleep, health, and living well after 60. We're building a community here, one that's about strength, wisdom, and thriving at any age. Here's to peaceful nights and beautiful mornings. Here's to living your best life, one well-rested day at a time.